4 or 5 different stocks that you like, stuff that you probably use every day. If people know they can come to your OnlyFans and learn how to produce a track, they're gonna subscribe. Do this for years. This is long term. Hey, what's going on? Just a few things I want to talk about. People that know me know I always really try to talk positive. Even if it's hard to talk positive sometimes, I figure it's easy to be negative, it's easy to be destructive. So being positive sometimes is not always easy, especially if nothing is positive happening around in your life, right? So I've been having conversations with people or whatever, and I do realize everybody is gonna have different thought process. Everybody ain't gonna be on the same page. We all ain't gonna like the same politics, religion, color, whatever it is, right? So I'm talking to this guy, right? It's a guy, he's I'm gonna say he's wealthy, he's well off, he has money. So I know his ideology is gonna be a little different. You can't expect a person with money to have the same thought process or the same wants or needs as a person that doesn't have money. I get that, right? So first he was discussing the unemployment stuff, saying how people was being lazy and they need to get back to work and how they're not going to work because they're getting more money in unemployment. And I do agree. Like, why would I want to go back to work if unemployment is paying me better than when I was working? So he was just like, they should just cut it off and get them all back to work. And I believe it's not an easy fix. Because there are some people, yes, probably are being lazy, but then there's some people that were struggling, right? Working hard and struggling. So now all of a sudden, they're not struggling. They're not rich or nothing with unemployment, but they're not struggling. And he was like, yeah, they need to just cut that off. So my thought process is that lets you know that something's wrong with the system, right? Yeah, some people are being lazy. They don't want to go back to work or whatever, but they're probably not even being lazy. Like, you busting your butt all day, every day, and you still barely surviving. Yes, you was laid off. I was explaining that to him too. Like, these people are not just being lazy, sitting around. They literally had to get laid off. So that means they were working at first, right? It's a whole bunch of ins and outs to that. Like, oh, taxpayer money. They were taxpayers before they got laid off. So don't make it like you're just paying their way. I hate when people act like that. These people was taxpayers. And if you pay your tax money, something happened, you should be able to get some help. So we can get that out the way, right? So he saying how they should just cut it off. And I said, there's some people who really need it. If they cut it off because it's a few people being lazy, then what about the people who really do need the unemployment? It was a whole big discussion or whatever. But I finally realized, because when I was telling him, I said, okay. He was like, yeah, they're just being lazy and this and this. And I said, okay, this is why when I talk to people, now he probably don't know I do the YouTube videos and nothing like that, because I don't tell everybody. Some people, I just don't discuss that with everybody. I figure hopefully it'll catch on. Some people I want to hear, I hear it. But anyway, so I say, okay, this is why I do like talking to people, to try to tell people they should start their own business. They should try to do something for self, get stock and all kinds of other stuff. And then he said, and I heard this from quite a few people, but it rung a bell, hit a light switch when I heard it from him. Well, the other people, it mattered too. But I'm thinking like, man, now I can see where this type of conversation is coming from. This is people who already got money. He was like, well, if everybody starts a business, like, who's going to work for you? And I'm like, wow, like, literally, he'll rather be the person to keep you down because they're going to need workers. And that's literally like how politics is or whatever. And I was thinking like that. I wasn't surprised. I was surprised to hear it come out of somebody's mouth who's successful, who put their kids in situation. Because he was telling me some stuff about his kids. I won't, talk about that. But he's made sure his kids is good. They're not gonna have to work for nobody and this and that. And his thought process is, why try to convince people to start businesses? Because if everybody has a business, who's going to work for you? All right, and I'm like, wow, and I'm like, wow. So, but the strange thing is, I've had this same conversation with people who wasn't successful. Well, who wasn't financially successful. Success is different for everybody. Who wasn't financially successful, and I've heard the same thing for them. Like, well, if everybody got a business, who gonna buy from who? Who gonna like? And I look at it like this. Everybody has a business, just about. Every race, really. And yes, black people. There are black people with businesses, but in reality, most of the business that I've seen in my life, every race, whether it's Mexicans, Chinese, white people, whatever, it's like they focus on teaching their people to run stuff, to have businesses. I don't know if we call them Arabs or Arabs, the ones that buy up all the gas stations and all that. And then my people, the black people, not all blacks, but my people, would be like, oh, they coming over here, they taking all this, they doing all this, and they in our neighborhoods. And I'm like, they doing what they supposed to do, to be honest. They doing what they supposed to do. Post up, set up, make money. So instead of complaining about them, because we're going to their stores, we spending our money with them, but at the same time, we complaining about them. It really, really doesn't make any sense. Like, here's my money. Man, I hate you. I like to have, no, the Newports over there. No, that. You give them your money and complain at the same time, that really makes no sense, right? So, my thing is, sometimes you talk to people and it doesn't matter what you say. Now, that doesn't mean the person is racist or nothing like that, but you can tell they're not for you. Because if the person is telling me these people are being lazy and they need to get back to work or whatever, and then I say, listen, everybody ain't like that, but I do agree. There are some people like that. This is why I'm trying to teach people, or I'm not even teaching them, I'm just putting it in their head. Start a business, start somewhere. Use Google, whatever. And then he basically said I was wrong. Not wrong. What's the right word? He basically said, why do that? If everybody starts a business, who's going to work for you? So you're going to tell me that everybody's being lazy. Not everybody, a lot of people. But then you're going to tell me, don't teach them how to run their own business either. Because we need those people to work for us. So if I'm thinking right, the ideology that he has is stop helping them people so they can come work for us. We need them. But this is the same person who will complain, they're trying to raise up the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Not to mention, this guy makes way more than that, right? So I'm like, this is confusing. You don't want to make sure people get paid $15 an hour, which is some decent money. It's not a lot. You're upset that they got laid off and they're getting money. You want them to hurry up, cut that money off so they can come back and work for people like you. So you see the circle? And then if the wrong people hear that conversation, you know what they start? They start repeating it. They start repeating it to make it seem true. Like, it just baffles me to see people go against their own things that benefit them. And I listen to that, You're lazy because you're getting unemployment. Because you got laid off. Well, okay, now I'm lazy. I get laid off. So I'm lazy. I don't want to give you a raise. And why are they giving you so much money on unemployment? Fix the system. People should be trying to, if you was paying people enough to make a living, they'll be rushing back to get a job, right? Nah, we don't want to pay you, but you need to come back and work for us. Hurry up. Hurry up. Cut that money off so they can get back to work for us. That's how I took that, right? Then, we must not teach them to want more because we're going to need them to work for us. So that was all in my head. All in my head. And then when I hear black people repeating the same stuff, I've heard this conversation, and I was like, these people are so like traumatized, so brainwashed, right? That they'll repeat something that doesn't help them. That doesn't help them in no form, shape. It doesn't help. It's like when they start raising taxes on the millionaires and billionaires, and the politicians, this is what politicians do, you can't blame them. And the politicians will be like, hey, they're about to raise your taxes on you. See, the scare tactics is what works in politics. And everybody like, man, we can't vote for him, he about to raise the taxes. And I'm like, you don't make nowhere close to what they about to raise the taxes. They only raising taxes on people who make 400,000 plus annually or some stuff like that. Like, you're barely making 5,000 annually. Like, but if you can trick a person to believe in their taxes finna be raised, they'll argue for the rich. They'll fight for the rich. They'll storm the Capitol for the rich. I guarantee you, it probably some people that got a little money that stormed the Capitol, but none of them was millionaires or billionaires. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna risk what they got. They'll talk to the poor people and, well, the middle class people and scare them. They'll scare the middle class people, and the middle class people go do all the hard work. That's just how life is, right? So, if you're gonna give yourself a chance, like starting a business ain't for everybody. We know that. It's not for, and everybody is not being successful. So yes, I do know people's concerns, but that's crazy that a person that doesn't even have a business or anything, got nothing to do for themselves, instead of talking and understanding, they more of finding problems. Like a person that makes $10 an hour or $15 an hour, and I'm telling them, hey man, you should figure out ways to make more money, a business, and they tell you, if everybody had a business, who's gonna buy from who, or who's gonna do this? Or stop worrying about everybody else. It's like, instead of doing stuff, some people would rather come up with issues why they shouldn't do it. You can't, if you deal with people like that, it's a revolving door. It's a circle, and you'll continue being in that revolving door. So, and you can notice it once you around a person long enough. Every time you're talking about doing something positive or doing something that can get you out of, so like some people come up with excuses why not to do something, right? That's like relationships or anything else, right? If the person comes up with reasons not to do something positive or good, you're not gonna notice it right away, but after a while, you gotta start saying like, hold up, what's really going on here? Like, are we really arguing about something this simple? You know, some people are just prone to be the problem and not look for solutions. Don't be your own problem. If something's going on in your life, look for a solution. Look for a solution. I don't care what it is. If you look for solutions, you probably have better relationships. You probably have better relationships with the jobs that you get or whatever. Some people, they get mad at work and they'll just quit. Now they ain't got a job and they got to look for another job. Look for solutions, right? I guarantee you, if you change your mindset, I don't care how broke you is, how much in debt you are. Like me, I'm still paying off credit cards and stuff. I ain't got no money. I'm not gonna pretend that I got it, right? But my life is getting better because I changed. Well, I've always been a solution type guy. I ain't gonna say that just happened. Cause just because you a good person or you think about solutions, that don't mean you just automatically gonna be successful. I had to change other things in my life. So once you change one thing and you say you see it getting better, but you know it can get better, start changing something else. You don't gotta change your whole life. Change a few things and see how your life go. And then even when you start getting real good in life, you ain't gotta change. You might tweak a few things. I'm like, man, this is it. Give yourself a chance, right? You can't. Don't let other people's opinions stop you from doing what you can do or how successful you can be. And by the way, checking the link. I got some merchandise y'all can check out. You know, get you a T-shirt, get you a coffee mug or something like that. You see something you like, that's cool. If you don't see nothing you like and you still want to support and you want to be a part of this movement, you know, hit the Cash App up. You know, $1, whatever you can afford or whatever. Because we about to be on the mission. And I said we because you know it's we about to be on the mission. So go down in the description, you know, check out the merchandise. Hope you see something you like. Support the movement. Take it easy.